Deskew Technologies announces release of Gig Performer 4. Welcome to Music Gears, where we bring you the latest info on new music instruments, software, and other gear from around the world. Deskew Technologies has announced the release of Gig Performer 4. Gig Performer 4, a major upgrade from the previous version. Here's what they say. Gig Performer has already received high marks from its vast user base, who applaud its intuitive modular design, with customizable controls, visual plug-in wiring, instant switching, and remarkably low CPU usage. It runs light and doesn't crash, providing rock-solid reliability that lets musicians perform with confidence and own the stage. Unlike other plug-in hosts that favor a channel strip method relying on buses, sends, and inserts, Gig Performer adopts a visual approach that uses real-world concepts, like cables, knobs, and buttons to mimic pedalboards or keyboard effect chains. These elements are seamlessly connected together with plugins to create Rackspaces, to simply and intuitively control plugin parameters in real time. This easy-to-use functionality enables gigging musicians to focus entirely on their live performance and not worry about the underlying technology. Principal among the new features in Gig Performer 4 is the global Rackspace. Instead of inserting the same effects in every Rackspace, the musician can now insert them once into the global Rackspace and then share them with individual Rackspaces, so that commonly used sounds can be easily accessed across the entire set list. For example, keyboardists can keep send-based effects, example, reverbs, here, and any soft synths used on all songs. Further, the global Rackspace is bidirectional. Guitarists can do common pre-processing, then send the signal from the global Rackspace to song-specific Rackspaces containing other effects. The global Rackspace is also the ideal home for loopers, media players, and any other plugins that need to keep running across song and set changes. An expanded virtual wiring view in all Rackspaces is now zoomable and scrollable, letting the user quickly move between details of specific connections and an overview of the entire layout. Collections of wired-together plugins can be saved as named favorites for easy reuse in new Rackspaces when needed. A native MIDI file player plugin holds up to 128 songs and can map individual tracks to different instrument plugins. Song tempo can drive Gig Performer's global tempo to synchronize time-based effects such as delays. In the other direction, tap tempo can control the file playback speed. MIDI messages in a song file can even trigger Rackspace and other vital control changes, making the MIDI player an ideal mission control for smaller bands that utilize MIDI backing tracks. Files may also be looped and starred at user-defined bars. Often requested, Gig Performer now has an undo facility for panel design, making it significantly easier to design complex panels and layout widgets. Finally, scriptlets are the logical offspring of GP Script, the easy programming language included with Gig Performer. They allow users who are not programmers to create custom functionality within Gig Performer, which can then be shared with the ever-growing Gig Performer community. Gig Performer's programming language expands its functionality to make not yet added features possible within Gig Performer now. Further workflow improvements include separate control of audio input muting and output fading when changing Rackspaces. Dragging a preset into the wiring view automatically instantiates the appropriate plugin. Default widget values, accessed by double-clicking. Custom backgrounds for panels and label widgets. Faster assignment of multiple widgets to groups. Audio mixer plugins now support up to 32 channels. The System Actions plugin giving even more control of Gig Performer itself from your control surface. New tuner view with changeable A reference frequency. Maximum number of connections definable for individual blocks. More integration with hardware synths and other outboard MIDI devices, along with improved SysX support. Over 100 new GP Script system functions. Gig Performer 4.0 comes bundled with a sampler of synth plugins from Lost in 70s and effects plugins from Overloud, along with related templates, to get musicians up and running from the moment they launch the application for either performance or trial evaluation. Of course, users will want to bring their favorite plugins into Gig Performer, but having this convenience right out of the gate helps them immediately appreciate both the functionality and power of Gig Performer. Price, $169 Mac OS or Windows, or $200 for a cross-platform bundle. Read more at www.gigperformer.com. Please like this video if you found it helpful, and if you'd like to stay informed on the latest in music gear releases and limited time discount offers, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.